last year my challenge was with the chef. This year my challenge is with my stews. So, every year it's going to be something different.
Well, I did see the first episode and we see him kissing Ashley night one, which I can't put much blame on Gary for that one. But how did you work together with Ashley, after you had made out with him later on in the season that we'll see? How did you two, what was your dynamic like with Ashley?
I think the difference between me and maybe some of the other girls is I kind of own the kiss. I'm vocal about it. Mm-hmm. And me and Gary we're HOD, so it's easier for us to set our feelings aside. Whereas for the younger crew, they're a bit more secretive. So I never knew that kiss happened. So I don't feel like I'm stepping on toes. I think I found out like 2 days later, maybe Gary told me. Mm. And I couldn't believe, I think, oh God, it's complicated. Well, our relationship is fine, but she was probably more intimidated by my relationship with Gary than she let on. Okay. I think. But during the season, it was fine. Yeah. But I don't think anyone has the balls to say anything to me.
I wouldn't. Definitely not. Not when you're on a boat and you can't get off.
I think they're kind of scared of me as well, which I love because I'm not scary at all.
That's a good dynamic to have with your stews, though, definitely. Both of your stews were pretty green this season. I think they both only had about a year experience. How did you pick Gabriela for the second stew, knowing that they both kind of had similar, not a whole lot of experience?
It really came down to age. Gabriela was 10 years older than Ashley, and straight away that gives you 10 years life experience, 10 years work experience. So for me, it came down to that. I need a more experienced person, not just in yachting, but in life, being able to handle, like a situation that you see in the first episode, the situation with McCordia. Gabriela did an amazing job at handling that professionally. I don't know if Ashley could have done as good of a job. Maybe she could have, but that really came down to why I gave Gabriela the second stew position.
The chef this season looks, like I've said, I watched the show since season one. I've only seen episode 1, but I feel like he might be the best in Below Deck history. How did it go this season with him?
I agree. He was, he's one of the best chefs I've worked with. And not only that, it's not just about chefing coming on Below Deck. It's, you don't know the boat, you don't know the galley. We can't provision for ourselves because of COVID. So it's not just about the cooking, it's all these extra challenges. And I think Marcos did an incredible job. He was very easy to work with. It was very amicable, our relationship, just the kind of relationship I'm used to. And amazing food as well. So we were a good team, and I think everyone's going to be really impressed with his food.
How would you compare him to last season with Chef Natasha?
Natasha was great. She's my friend and I support her dearly, but it was different. We butted heads, and a chef and a stew can't butt heads because the service is going to be affected. Right. So it was definitely different. Last year my challenge was with the chef. This year my challenge is with my stews. So, every year it's going to be something different, but it was refreshing to have a chef work well with me.
Yeah, no, he seems incredible and the food looked so good. How does the greenness or the lack of experience come into play with your 2 stews this season? Like, what are some of those obstacles that we'll see you face?
To be honest, the girls were incredible. When it came to work, they were way less green than I thought, very hardworking, very talented. And it was, I think, their egos that was a big challenge. So you'll see that play out. I'm extremely nervous for it. It was a big challenge for me. And it was frustrating because the girls were amazing at their jobs. And, as you learn, between Natasha, I think you'll see with the girls this year, your ego is going to be your worst enemy. And I'm hoping people learn from the show. Just leave your ego outside, and you're gonna thrive.
Definitely. Yeah. We see her ego come out a little bit when you give the second stew to, or first to Gabrielle. What am I screwing it up? Gabrielle.
No, you're absolutely right, because, you know, I was talking to someone yesterday, and when I watched the first episode, and because that, again, the first episode sets the tone for the whole season. So I see the minute that all the problems start happening is when I give Gabriela the second stew. And I'm the most unobservant person. I have a lot of talents, but being observant is not one of them. I'm jealous of observant people. Mm-hmm. And I see it straight away, and I'm like, oh, this is the moment all the problems happen.
Yeah.
So it was hard to watch, because if I'd been more observant, you know, maybe I could have tackled the problem before it escalated, but I didn't. So
well, that's why you're good TV.